The story of the end of the world does not begin with fire or frost. It begins with a heartbeat. A giant, thunderous heartbeat echoing deep inside the primordial forests of ancient Scandinavia.
Travelers whispered a warning, passed down through generations. If you ever heard that sound, you did not seek its source. You turned back, for the sound belonged not to any mortal beast, but to something born for destruction, something destined to swallow the gods themselves.
And only then, through the fear and the mist, does its name emerge. Fenrir.
The wolf that ate the gods.
Introduction and origins.
Fenrir is no ordinary creature. He is the Doombringer, the World Eater, the one beast even the gods of Asgard feared to face. His very origin is a portent of chaos. He is the son of Loki, the trickster god, and the giantess Angerboda, she who brings sorrow.
The Aesir gods watched him and his siblings, Wormungandr, the serpent that encircles the world, and Hel, the ruler of the dishonored dead, with rising terror. They were the monstrous brood, each destined to play a pivotal role in Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods. And every passing year, Fenrir's strength multiplied, his hunger growing beyond any hope of control. He was not merely a beast to be feared, he was a prophecy waiting to unfold.
Our knowledge of Fenrir comes from the ancient Icelandic texts, the Poetic Edda and the Prose Edda. These are the fragments that preserve the heart of Norse myth. Within them, the prophecy was clear. Fenrir would grow so powerful, so immense, that he would break any bond and devour Odin himself, the Allfather. And so, the gods moved from fear to action. Their plan was not to kill him, for his fate was intertwined with destiny itself, but to bind him, to delay the inevitable.
The binding of Fenrir.
But even as a young wolf, Fenrir was colossal. His jaws could stretch from earth to sky, wide enough to swallow the sun. His fur was black as the void between stars, and his eyes burned with a fierce, unsettling intelligence. The gods' first attempts were futile. They brought massive chains named Lading and Dromi, challenging the wolf to tests of strength. Fenrir broke them with ease, each time growing more suspicious of his so-called companions.
Desperate, the gods turned to the master craftsmen of the Norse world, the dwarves. From the heart of the earth, the dwarves forged Glitnir. It was not a chain of iron, but a ribbon, silken and smooth, made from impossible ingredients. The sound of a cat's footsteps, the beard of a woman, the roots of a mountain, the sinews of a bear, the breath of a fish, and the spittle of a bird. It was a thing of magic and paradox, slender as a cord, yet stronger than any physical bond.
When the gods brought Fenrir to the remote island of Lyngvi and presented him with Gleipnir, he sensed the deceit woven into its very fibers. It was too delicate, too soft, a trap. He would not allow them to bind him with it, unless one of the gods, as a gesture of good faith, placed their hand in his mouth.
Silence fell. The price of trust was a god's hand. It was Tyr, the bravest and most honorable of them all, who stepped forward. He knew the cost, but he also knew the necessity. With Tyr's hand in his mouth as a pledge, Fenrir allowed the gods to wrap the soft ribbon around his legs.
And then he strained. The earth shook. His roar was a thunderclap of fury. But Gleipnir held firm. Realizing he had been tricked, that his trust had been sacrificed for a prophecy, Fenrir did the only thing left to him. He closed his mighty jaws. The crunch of bone is lost in his world-shaking roar of betrayal as he severs Tyr's hand. Bound, gagged, and filled with a rage that would simmer for ages, Fenrir was imprisoned, with a sword placed in his mouth to hold his jaws open, his drool forming a river of poison and despair.
Ragnarok and symbolism.
For ages, Fenrir remained chained. But chains cannot stop destiny. They can only delay it. As his rage deepened, so did his power. And when the signs of Ragnarok finally appear, the Fimbulwinter, the breaking of kinship, the sun and moon swallowed, the bindings of Gleipnir will snap.
Fenrir will be unleashed. His howl will be the trumpet of the end times. He will sprint across the battlefield of Vigrid, his jaws wide enough to span the heavens, and in the climactic moment of the old world, he will seek out Odin. And the prophecy will be fulfilled. The All-Father, King of the gods, will be devoured by the wolf.
But no being, not even Fenrir, is beyond their own fate. His triumph is short-lived. Odin's son Vidar, the god of vengeance, will step forth, plunging his foot into the wolf's jaw, a foot shod with the leather of all the shoes ever discarded by humanity. He will tear the great wolf asunder, ending his rampage. This was the destiny written in the runes long before his birth, to be both the devourer and the devoured.
Legacy and modern interpretations.
Fenrir's legend did not die with the Viking Age. His story is one of rebellion against imposed constraints, of raw power that cannot be controlled, and it resonates deeply today. He is a icon in modern culture, appearing everywhere from blockbuster movies and best-selling novels to the logos of metal bands and the skin of those who see in him a symbol of inner strength.
Psychologists might interpret Fenrir as the embodiment of the chaos within us, the wild, untamed part of the human soul that resists control, that bursts free with terrible consequences when pushed too far, when betrayed. His story is a timeless warning and a promise. That which you try to chain forever will eventually break free, and its wrath will be proportional to its imprisonment.
Conclusion. And so, the myth of Fenrir continues to live, not as a mere monster, but as a symbol of unstoppable fate, of prophecies that no chain, no matter how cleverly woven, can restrain forever. He is the inevitable end, the chaos that balances order, the hunger that waits in the shadows of every carefully laid plan.
When the final battle comes, they say you will hear it, a howl across the sky, the sound of Fenrir breaking free.
If you were captivated by the legend of the world-eating wolf, there are countless more dark myths and forgotten legends waiting to be uncovered. From the depths of Greek Tartarus to the frozen peaks of Japanese yokai tales.
Subscribe to Mythvlog and ring the bell so you don't miss our next journey into the shadows of history. Tell us in the comments, which mythological beast would you chain if it meant saving the world?
Thank you for watching.